So, hi everyone. My name is Paul Wasensteiner. I am the founder of the Bitcoin Cash Fund. So, I'm going to do a short talk with you guys today and going over, a little bit of the backstory of why I set up the Bitcoin Cash Fund. What we've been doing over the last 7-8 months to drive adoption of Bitcoin Cash. And if I've got time, I'll do a short talk on decentralized marketing and how you go about doing that. So I have a background in engineering, business, and design. I've been involved in Bitcoin since 2011, mostly as a user from early on. I think I found out about Bitcoin thanks to an article written about the Silk Road. And I found that the concept of a digital currency that wasn't like PayPal or traditional money systems at the time, I found that extremely fascinating. I couldn't quite get my head around it, but I was like, there's definitely something special here. But so I spent some time researching it. I bought some Bitcoin. I just kind of really got involved in the community. Then it wasn't really until 2016 where I really tried to make a difference myself, which is when I launched the BTC Fork project with Free Trader, and that was a precursor to Bitcoin ABC. It was, as far as I'm aware, it was the first project to actually fork Bitcoin regardless of hash power. So all of the clients, competing clients up to that time, like Bitcoin Unlimited, Bitcoin Classic, Bitcoin XT, they all required a majority or super majority of hash power, and BTC Fork was about forking Bitcoin, regardless of that. And that was important because we felt that the chances of success of gaining that much hash power were low considering what was going on at the time. I don't really want to go too much into that in this talk because it's kind of outside the scope. But so unfortunately that kind of fizzled out, but it did end up becoming kind of the precursor to Bitcoin ABC, which is what Amari and Free Trader started, and obviously ended up becoming Bitcoin Cash. It wasn't really until 2017 that I decided to kind of go full time into the cryptocurrency world professionally. Before I started working on the Bitcoin Cash Fund, I was involved in an educational project to try and educate people about cryptocurrencies in general, because there's a lot of misinformation out there, unfortunately. So I started Bitcoin Cash Fund in November 2017, and I'd like to kind of go into why I set it up, because I think it's quite important. So, up until the year 2014, adoption of Bitcoin had been going extremely well. It went from nothing, from literally being valued nothing, to being valued up to $1,000 roughly, and up until that point there was increasing numbers of projects being built. There was a massive amount of energy in the community. It was nothing like what many people are familiar with over the last few years. And then the scaling debate started. I'm not sure how familiar you all are with that. But essentially, the block size or capacity of the network reached peak, and it couldn't get any higher. So there was a huge debate over how the capacity could or should not be increased. And this debate went on for a very, very long time. It went on roughly from, the main part of the debate went on from 2014 until 2017, and still is really kind of raging on now. But the kind of most damaging aspect of that, aside from limiting the capacity, was the wasted energy in the community. So, instead of everyone looking forward and trying to build projects and make progress, the entire community was just warring against each other. It's difficult to overstate how big of an impact that had. So up until 2014, huge numbers of projects being created, all sorts of different websites being built on Bitcoin, and then essentially it kind of stopped dead. No more merchants were adding Bitcoin services. And everything just stopped. So this was a huge problem, of course, and it kind of came to a head when the last possible chance of Bitcoin, now what we know as Bitcoin Core, had the option of increasing capacity 2 times using a software upgrade called SegWit 2x, and this was cancelled. And when that happened, there was quite literally like a sea change in the community. So everyone had to make a decision. You're either with no on-chain scaling or you're with on-chain scaling. You're either with Bitcoin Core or you're with Bitcoin Cash. Everyone had to make a decision on this day. And you can even see it in the market. So what happened on that day is Bitcoin Cash rose up to 0.5, the value of 0.5 Bitcoin Core, as everyone who has been holding off and kind of sitting on the fence up until that point basically made a decision. And many of those people made the decision that Bitcoin Cash is the system that will actually function better over a long period of time. So when that happened, we were talking in this community, like, how can we make some progress? Because nothing, like I said, like nothing had been happening, no progress had been made, and so we discussed, what can we do? And we come up with the idea of, let's just make a video. Let's just make a video about a promotional video about Bitcoin Cash. So I put up a video, put up a crowdfunding request just on Reddit, asking for $200 so we can make this promotional video. And within 24 hours, we'd received $24,000 in funding, and it became very, very clear that there was a need for some kind of entity that would drive adoption forward. So up until this point, you have miners as a kind of participant type in the network, and you've got developers who offer up changes to the protocol, but there was no entity or set of people that were specifically going out there and trying to get people to start using cryptocurrencies, both users, businesses. And this is extremely important. If any of you have a business or work in the marketing department of a business, marketing is extremely important to your product. You can build the best product in the world, but if people do not know it exists, then they have no way of purchasing it. So I very rapidly came to the conclusion, there is a need for an entity like this that takes on this responsibility of marketing Bitcoin Cash and trying to drive adoption. So yeah, at that point, that was when the Bitcoin Cash Fund was born. I grabbed a few people that I knew were respected in the community. They're known long-time members. So Ian, also known as Checksum, and Hypo of BTC. And we just started just trying out different things. With the funds we raised, we started supporting projects that people brought to us. So then we had to kind of assess, what is going to be our strategy? How are we going to drive adoption of Bitcoin Cash? And the answer was, we didn't know. I mean, to be perfectly honest, we did not know. And the reason for that is no one has ever done this before. Cryptocurrencies or even just global currencies have never existed before. To try and convince people that this completely new system is better than the old system when people hadn't even conceived of the fact that there could be a new system is an extremely difficult challenge. How do you sell people the idea of cryptocurrencies? And right now, nobody knows how to do that. So the strategy for 2018, or a large portion of that, is learning what actually works on trying to show people that using cryptocurrencies, especially Bitcoin Cash, is a better financial system than what most people are currently used to. And so, not only are we researching how to do that, but we're also obviously trying to drive adoption at the same time. And one of the key, some of the key things we've been doing to do that is building a community of positive and proactive people. Another one of the key things we've been doing over the last year is building meetups. So as far as I'm aware, we have the Bitcoin Cash community has more meetups, far more meetups than any other cryptocurrency community out there. That's actually old information. I've just realized we actually now have over 100 meetups around the world. Yeah, we're also working on a documentary to try and clear up the misinformation essentially around Bitcoin Cash. And the same with educational videos and guides and translations, of course, to make sure that we reach everyone in the world. The Bitcoin Cash Fund should not just be an English-speaking organization. It should reach as many people as possible. Yeah, so the other things we're providing is, print media, different designs, logos, flyers, stickers, as much as we can provide to get the word out about Bitcoin Cash, kind of very traditional marketing techniques. We're providing to the community for free. Yeah, we're also building partnerships with various organizations, including Purse.io. So I'm not sure if you're aware, but you can go on Purse.io right now and save, I think it's up to 20%, maybe 25% on purchases on Amazon.co.uk. But you can also receive a $10 cashback in Bitcoin Cash for your purchase. So whatever you buy, you'll get $10 in Bitcoin Cash back to your account on Purse.io. Sorry, excuse me. Until the end of July. So yeah, I mean, also what we're trying to do is kind of build up the momentum of the Bitcoin Cash community by supporting, excellent non-profit projects that increase adoption. So Gitcash.io allows people to put up bounties and give tips on GitHub. So if you have a development project and you want to tip someone for doing some good work, or even put up a bounty for let's say there's a specific extra function you want to add to the app, but you don't have time to do it, you can put up a bounty and maybe someone else can come do that work for you and collect the bounty. It's the same with ChainTip. It's also a very similar service. Yeah, and of course we're running ads for Bitcoin Cash on various social media sites and websites. Again, that's very traditional marketing techniques. And we're also trying to work on branding. And branding is a very tough topic. You'd expect it to be not quite as difficult as it sounds, but yeah, I'll talk a little bit about decentralized branding now. So the difficult part about decentralized branding is that there is no official anything in cryptocurrencies. So there's no central entity that can say, this is the logo you have to use. No other logos are official. This doesn't exist. The Bitcoin Cash Fund is not an official organization for Bitcoin Cash. We can only have as much influence as people give us, and they will only give us as much influence as we are, competent or capable in what we're doing. So there's been a large debate raging about what is the color of Bitcoin Cash, and some people use orange, the same as Bitcoin Core, and many people use green. And kind of I'd say the central debate between those two things is orange. People believe that Bitcoin Cash is Bitcoin, and Bitcoin tended to use an orange logo, therefore Bitcoin Cash should also use an orange logo. And on the green side of the debate, it's that Cash is typically associated with the color green. Green is psychologically associated with a more positive, it has more positive associations, and it has a key differentiation point than orange. We have to be able to differentiate our product or services compared to Bitcoin services. So I think this is actually quite good in a way. I mean, obviously there's many disadvantages to having multiple logos for the same product or service or system, but the fact that there's people using both orange and green proves that Bitcoin Cash is decentralized. So I hope I've provided you with a reasonable overview of what we've been doing, what our strategy is, maybe some interesting perspectives on how you brand a decentralized currency. I'd like to thank Widya and Cryptartica, and thank for letting me talk here today, and thank you all for taking the time to listen to me. One last request, if I can, is if you have time, go check out bitcoincaches.org. This is our new website to try and help educate people on Bitcoin Cash. It should be relevant to anyone from someone who knows absolutely nothing at all to maybe people that are already part of the Bitcoin Cash community and want to learn how they can get more involved. So yeah, if you go check out yourself, send people there. Bitcoincaches.org is also a key point in our marketing strategy for Bitcoin Cash. So thank you all for your time.